Hello, this is Kara from Kara Tarot with a general reading for Sunday, November 7th, 2025 with the Odyssean Tarot. I'm doing a modified spread that I found online. This that I'm showing now was the original spread from Interrobang Tarot, and but I've changed it quite a bit. So I've already shuffled life, death, challenges, fears, celebrate, contemplate, life, death, challenges, fears, celebrate, contemplate. Your card for life is the Six of Cups. Six of Cups, of course, is about usually thought of as childhood memories, but it can be any kind of sentimental memories that bring you joy, that take you back to a grounding space, that help you kind of reconnect. I know at multiple times in my life, I've gone back and I've asked myself, thought about what were my childhood goals and how does my life now compare to those? Now, some of them are ones I think are silly goals now, but the point is that it's that kind of baseline assumption of what you had hoped life might be like. And this kind of encompasses all of that, including friendships, including people who know you fully and love you for who you are. Death. Oh, interesting. It's another six. And this is the Six of Earth. And this is about the generosity of Philemon and Baucis. And this, of course, the Six of Coins is about generosity, giving freely, helping those in need, giving without measuring it to figure out if it's the right amount, but just opening your heart and giving freely. And interesting that that's coming up as death. But we clearly have, I think it's Baucis here, Philemon and Baucis, or Baucis. Baucis is depicted as being quite old and giving to the travelers. So this be the wisdom of age. And it is, I hadn't thought of this before, it is intrinsically tied in with the concept of you can't take it with you. And so therefore, what are you using it for when you have it? If you can't take it with you, what are you using it for? Are you using it to help others? Challenges. The Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is one of the darkest cards in the deck. This is a representation of Pandora and the box, and the fear, the uncertainty, of course, all of the evils that she unleashed by opening the box, but also all of the insecurities and fears that drove her to open the box in the first place. And this is one of the heaviest strife cards in the deck, even in other decks and other representations. So this just gives that framework of Pandora embodying the anguish of the human condition. And the maxims for this, they give Delphic maxims for each card, is despise strife and praise hope. So that is the challenge. The challenge is to not embrace strife. That when you have fears and there is darkness and we have all of these ills that beset humanity, to not latch on to them and reflect them in ourselves, but rather to move forward in hope. Fears. This is not an explicit card, but I am still going to cover it a little bit. So this is one of the majors in this deck. This would normally be the devil. And the Delphic maxim for this is shun evil, which we were already talking about. We were talking about battling it with hope. The fear here, of course, this is Prometheus. And this is the light bearer Prometheus, is this card, instead of being the devil as it would be in most of the decks. Because most of the decks are cognizant of the Christian world viewpoint. They reflect a devil. The ancient Greeks didn't really have a concept of evil, at least in the way that we have it and the Abrahamic religions have it. So the eternal pain of Prometheus, it would be their closest analogy, probably. And it still represents the same thing: obsession, addiction, depression, sexual abuse, dependency, bondage, torment, powerlessness, all of those are the things to fear. These are the big life issues to fear, the things that we feel we can't conquer because they arise from within ourself. And we just often, it's very similar to this, we get trapped in this circular, and that is the challenge of the fear. The fear creates the challenge, and the challenge, and then the fear then has its challenge. That becomes a cycle. To celebrate. This, of course, is the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man in the traditional suit is about changing your viewpoint, looking at things from a new angle. The god of wine, vegetation, orchards, fruit, fertility, festivity, ritual madness, religious ecstasy, and the theater. And the Delphic maxim for this is, if you are a stranger, act like one. So this can be also about, it's an interesting parallel with this, because it can also be about feeling trapped, feeling turned upside down, not having control. But whereas this is the eternal anguish of being subjected to something, this is about letting go and accepting that things change, and your perception and your way of dealing with things have to change with them for you to be able to make the best use of them, both personally and communally. And this is in the card position of something to celebrate. And of course, celebrating that means celebrating hope, which is kind of where we started, and this one said to embrace hope. So these are all about, this is like your old viewpoints, your new viewpoints, and the hopefulness that comes from shifting your viewpoint throughout life as troubles arrive, and accommodating things and changing with the times, yet still remembering who you were and who you are. And interesting. I'm liking this spread. And things to contemplate, finally. And this is the Seven of Earth. One of my favorite cards in the deck. Now, the Seven of Earth typically represents someone who's in the midst of gardening. And in this deck, this is called Stone, but it's the Earth suit. Someone who's gardening and hits that moment when they have the capability to pause and evaluate. And this has still very much the same meanings associated with it. This is Sappho as one of the muses with the Delphic maxim, accept what befalls, and accept what befalls. That actually could be the wrap-up for this entire reading today. And how's that for a continuity of message? Where the Seven is about, again, it's going back and evaluate, taking a moment to regroup and remember these things and say, this was my initial plan. How did things line up? How did things pan out with that initial plan? Is what I've done so far in line with that? Are there things that I can adjust to make them more in line with that? Or have I made adjustments to my plan? Have I shifted things so that I no longer want things to be in line with this? I know I still want some of this, but I want things to be shifted with a new perception so that I'm moving forward with a more mature point of view and a wiser point of view. This would be, I hadn't thought of that before, but it is in many aspects, it is the card of wisdom in terms of you can't have wisdom without these moments of reflecting and comparing, appreciating what you have, appreciating what you've done, appreciating what you've accomplished, sharing what you have, out of that appreciation of it, understanding that it can be used to help others. We have this continuity of message here today. And finally, I wanted to throw in an oracle card from the Be Not Afraid Oracle. It's a guidebook of biblically accurate angels. We're going to put this. And this is the angel Gabriel. The ideas associated with the archangel Gabriel is the vision of the watchtowers, the west watchtowers, water, green, hearing, strength, moon, and Yesod. And it is about inner wisdom. Embarking on an inward odyssey to the cavern of your inner sanctum, to attune to the mysteries of existence, and to unexpectedly experience sublime resurrection of an archaic primordial wisdom. That aligns completely with this card. So it's saying not only taking your original viewpoint, your changed viewpoint, but then your spiritual viewpoint, your viewpoint that transcends anything you've experienced, but it is part of your spiritual understanding of how the world works and combines hope with how the world works and generosity and sets aside the fears. Be Not Afraid Oracle and the Odyssean Tarot with a message for today. I hope that has meaning for you. I found that a surprisingly and incredibly hopeful message for today. And I don't know about you, but I needed it. And a day, Sunday, perfect day for introspection and evaluation from a whole lot of different angles. And that's exactly what this card is about. This is Kara from Kara Tarot. Have a day of wisdom. Thank you.